You bought a $45 sweater on sale. 3 days later, you're buying $80 jeans because the sweater deserves better than your old denim. A week after that, you're looking at shoes. New shoes need new socks. New socks make your old jacket look tired. 6 weeks, 5 purchases, $380 gone. You thought you were being careful. You thought you were just filling one gap. But somehow one thing became 10. And the strangest part? Each purchase felt completely reasonable at the time. It starts innocent enough. You needed the sweater. Your old one had a stain that wouldn't come out, and you had a work event coming up. The sale made it feel responsible, smart even. But then you put it on with your existing wardrobe and something felt off. The jeans you've worn for 2 years suddenly looked faded next to the new fabric. So you bought new jeans. Not impulsively. You waited 3 days. You thought about it. You convinced yourself it made sense. Then the jeans came. They fit perfectly. They made you feel put together in a way you hadn't felt in months. But now your shoes looked scuffed. Your belt looked cheap. That old jacket you've had since college? It wasn't matching the person you saw in the mirror anymore. So you upgraded those too. Each time telling yourself, this is the last one. This completes the outfit. After this, I'm done. But you're never done. Because every new purchase raises the bar for everything around it. Your closet becomes a patchwork of different standards, different versions of yourself, different moments when you thought you were making one simple, rational decision. If this sounds familiar, it's not because you're weak-willed or materialistic. It's because you're human. And humans are terrible at understanding that objects don't exist in isolation. We think we're buying a sweater. We're actually buying into an entire ecosystem that demands balance. What's happening here isn't shopping. It's a psychological phenomenon called the Diderot Effect, though you don't need to know the name to feel its grip. In 1765, French philosopher Denis Diderot received a gift, a beautiful scarlet robe. He loved it. Then he looked around his study and realized everything else looked shabby by comparison. So he upgraded his desk, then his chairs, then his art, then his entire study. He wrote an essay about it called "Regrets on Parting with My Old Dressing Gown." The robe ruined him. You're experiencing the same spiral. One elevated purchase creates a mismatch. That mismatch creates discomfort. That discomfort creates pressure. And pressure creates another purchase to resolve the tension. Except it doesn't resolve anything. It just shifts the mismatch somewhere else. Your new jeans make your shoes look old. Your new shoes make your coat look worn. Your new coat makes your bag look dated. It's an endless game of catch-up with yourself. The exhausting part? You can see it happening. You know you're doing it. But awareness doesn't stop the feeling. That nagging sense that something's out of place. That low-grade embarrassment when you look in the mirror or walk into a room. The mental load of constantly comparing what you have against what you just bought. It's not about wanting more. It's about wanting consistency. And consistency, it turns out, is expensive. Here's what happens if nothing changes. This pattern follows you everywhere. Not just clothes, furniture, electronics, kitchen gadgets. You upgrade your phone, suddenly your laptop looks ancient. You buy a nice couch, your old coffee table looks like it belongs on a curb. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you'll still be chasing this feeling of complete, and you'll never catch it. Here's the shift. You're not buying things, you're buying coherence. And coherence is impossible to achieve one purchase at a time. It's like trying to paint a room by doing one wall per month. The first wall looks fresh, the other 3 look dingy. So you paint the second wall. Now the first wall has collected dust and the third wall looks even worse. You're never finished because you're never starting from a complete vision. You're reacting to mismatches instead of preventing them. The solution isn't willpower. It's not resisting sales or avoiding stores. It's operating from completeness instead of scarcity. and that requires a different approach entirely. First principle, the capsule mindset. Instead of buying one thing and hoping it fits into what you have, you decide what your complete wardrobe looks like first. 10 items, 20 items, whatever the number. You choose them all at once, or at least with full awareness of the system. Everything matches everything. Nothing creates a mismatch because there's no mismatch possible. This sounds limiting until you realize it eliminates the spiral entirely. You're not adding to chaos, you're maintaining order. The math here is simple. Most people own 120 items of clothing and wear 20% of them regularly. They spent money on 96 items they don't wear, because those items don't fit the life they're actually living. A capsule approach might mean buying 30 high-quality items that all work together. Fewer purchases, fewer decisions, less money spent chasing coherence you never achieve. Second principle, the replacement rule. Nothing new comes in unless something old goes out. One in, one out. This isn't about minimalism for the sake of aesthetics. It's about creating friction in the right place. Right now, the friction is after the purchase when you realize you've created another mismatch. The replacement rule puts friction before the purchase. It forces you to ask, what am I replacing? If the answer is nothing, you're not filling a gap, you're creating one. Third principle, the ecosystem test. Before buying anything, ask, what else does this require? A new sweater requires jeans that match. Those jeans require shoes that fit the style. Those shoes require a bag that makes sense. If you're not willing to upgrade the entire ecosystem, don't start. This sounds extreme, but you're already upgrading the ecosystem. You're just doing it slowly, painfully, and expensively, over 6 months instead of consciously over one decision. Here's why this works where willpower fails. Your brain is designed to seek consistency. When something doesn't match, you feel it physically. That uncomfortable tug when you see the old next to the new, that's not shallowness. That's your brain detecting a pattern violation. And your brain will keep detecting it, keep creating that discomfort until the pattern is resolved. The traditional approach is fighting that discomfort, telling yourself to ignore it. Be grateful for what you have. Stop caring so much. That's exhausting because you're battling your brain's basic operating system. It's like trying not to notice a crooked picture frame. You can do it for a while, but eventually you fix it, or it drives you insane. The alternative approach works with your brain instead of against it. You remove the mismatch entirely by planning for coherence from the beginning. There's no discomfort to resist because there's no pattern violation to trigger it. You're not using discipline to override your instincts. You're designing a system where your instincts don't activate in the first place. That's the difference between grinding through every shopping trip and having shopping trips that feel calm, resolved, finished. This requires one difficult afternoon, maybe 2. You inventory what you own. You decide what your actual life requires. Work clothes, weekend clothes, exercise clothes. You identify gaps honestly. Not what you wish you needed, what you actually need for the life you're living right now. Then you make a plan. You might spend more in 1 month than you usually do, but you spend it once, intentionally, completely, and then you stop. The work isn't maintaining discipline every time you see a sale. The work is making one big decision that eliminates 100 small temptations. It's the difference between deciding not to eat cookies every single day versus not keeping cookies in your house. Same outcome, 99% less effort. In The Psychology of Money, Morgan Housel writes about how wealth isn't about earning more, it's about wanting less. But wanting less isn't a personality trait, it's a design choice. You can't willpower your way into wanting less. You have to engineer an environment where there's nothing to want because everything already works. Diderot figured this out too late. After upgrading his entire study, he wrote that he'd been happy with his old things until the new robe showed him a different possibility. The robe didn't satisfy a need, it created one. Every purchase you make without a complete vision does the same thing. It shows you a possibility. Then it demands you chase it. The only way out is deciding the possibility you're chasing before anything new comes through the door. You don't have a spending problem, you have a completion problem. You keep starting stories you can't finish because you never decided what the ending looks like. One purchase becomes 10 because 10 is what completion actually costs. But you're paying for it in installments, with interest, with decision fatigue, with that nagging feeling that something's always slightly off. You can keep doing that. Or you can finish the story once and be done. So maybe the question isn't why one purchase turned into 10. Maybe it's why you thought one purchase would ever be enough. Objects live in systems, and systems demand balance. You can chase that balance forever, one purchase at a time, always reacting to the last mismatch you created. Or you can design the system once and let everything else fall into place. The sweater was never the problem. The problem was thinking the sweater existed alone. If this way of thinking about money resonates with you, you'll probably enjoy the rest of the conversations on this channel.